Oh, man, it's us again.
You know it.
I'll bet you just missed us terribly. We are going to delve into something that I know you think maybe, oh, what are these knuckleheads going to say today about Miles Davis? Well, Miles Davis is near and dear to both our hearts, and he's probably one of the most pivotal musicians to have ever, graced our world. He's one of the top, I guess, if you put top 50 people you can probably mention in terms of significance in the entire musical canon of the Western world, he'd be up there on in a very lofty position. Let's put it that way. Anyway.
I think arguably people, do say he is the king of modal jazz, among many other genres.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they speak of many offshoots and artists who are Miles's children, I mean, Art Blakey being like, the college of Art Blakey too. Like everyone that passed through Art Blakey's jazz messengers became significant in their own right as well. So, I mean, hats off to all the greats, and Charles Mingus and Coltrane and everybody, and Wayne Shorter and Herbie and Tony Williams, and go on and on and on and on. It's a straight ahead blues called Freddy the Freeloader, but you knew that from the title. I'm going to catch more of the rhythm and sort of comping bass lines. No, it's going to take the head. Okay, 2. A 1, 2, ready, and everybody, glad you're here. Scotty from Smart Tunes. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe. We'd love to see you again. It helps us a lot. Thanks. Pretty cool definitive versions on the very popular album, Kinda Blue, right? That everybody should or does own already. And if you have a brother or sister, probably look in their collection, you can find it and borrow it. Or just go on YouTube, as everyone does now anyway, and plays it off a video. Or on Spotify, which, that's a whole other, never mind. Okay, so that being said, we're going to go into it. It's actually in the key of B flat because it's a horn-friendly key, and those guys have B flat horns, and anyway, that's other rap as well. Okay, so oftentimes horn tunes are going to be an E flat or B flat or F or something of that nature. So it's not something you may have seen on guitar very frequently, but that's what we're in. So we're going to lay it out on B flat 7. Our chords of concern are typical, our 4/7 or E flat 7 or E flat 9 if you want to treat it that way. And back to our B flat or any permutation like a B flat 13. And then we get to our our approach. We're going from approaching the F from E chromatically down to E flat, and then here's the wrinkle. Here's the rub. Where do we go?
To the A flat.
A flat 7 for color and for fun. Little variation. And so you remember this, that Freddy Freeloader. It's kind of little riffs in there. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to play both horn parts in unison. We're actually going to do, what we did was we came up with a realization that this is one horn, and then, so we've got this cool double stop lay, like that's very friendly to anybody that's played R&B or anything like, Steve Cropper or anything like, with Cornell Dupree, anybody like, those kind of runs, those little like double stops. It's like technically like fourths, and you just push the. Now the second part, I misled you. So if you're on the, those kind of runs, right? But on the 4 chord, we do a sixth. Okay, so we're going, that'll be our flat 7 and our 5. Grab that just like, and push it up and return it. So it's going to the root and 13 or root 6, 7, 5, like over the 4 chord. And then back to our, then we got this stack, this little dyad stack, which is spread. We had this together stack where we're like, then this, then one note. Is that right? No. That's what I'm doing. Sorry, my lead in is a little off. Coming down, then single note. So single note, and I think Cannonball plays on this, right? With Miles in the lead, I believe. So correct us if we're wrong. Hit us in the comments. Be gentle, but correct us nonetheless. I think it's Cannonball in the lower register and Miles in the lead voice. Yeah. Okay, so we have from 7th position, we have our D note, G sharp note, pushing up to our E flat note and our A in the top. So coming down chromatically, take it down to your D flat and your G note, and then single note on your, what is it? What are we calling this? F right here, right? To your F sharp or G flat in this case, like in conjunction with the A flat, right? G flat. We're calling that our C because it is. And harmonics can hit you sometimes. I want to make sure that you call that a G flat if we're putting it against the A flat chord, right? All right. So that being said, now that's section 1, yeah? Mm-hmm. So it's A1, we're going to say. The second time you don't do all that. You don't even go to the A flat, except on the solos. They loop that A1 for the solos because I think it's fun to play on that A flat. Anyway, when it goes to the A2, kick it from your 7th position to 8th, back to 6, and then do your little 4th dyad here and go stutter and lay it once. Okay. Now, it seems like I'm making a big deal out of this, but I promise you, this is where you'll blow it. And everybody does. They're like, yeah, I got that. Whatever. And lo and behold, A2 comes, and they just go. And it's like some other person's going. And what that's doing is saying you're going back to the 1. Now, here's where you blow it. The tune doesn't end right there, does it, Noah?
No.
What happens?
Repeats.
Goes back to the 1, doesn't it?
To A1, yeah.
Now, since you're laying out so much, what happens? What do you notice? When you do the riff, what do you have to do?
You kind of have to wait for it. You know? You mean like...
Well, you got 4 measures on the top, on the B flat chord, right? On the A section.
Right.
That's what I meant to say. And so to mark that time, how many times are you doing the riff?
3.
Right. The 1 on the tail, but the A1 is 2. So you come up with 3. That's what I was fishing for. So at the end, you're going, turn around and bomb, turn around, and then wait for it. Now we're at 1. 1. Do it again. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're at the 4 chord and right, and letting it cook and turn around, coming. A1, finish it like that, pick it up and so forth and so on. And right there, I think basically you could say the solo sections.
That's when it begins, yeah. believe.
So then you just jumping in A1 again, A1, just keep pumping that. That depends on the soloist until they give you the heads up and says, I'm done. You take one chorus, two chorus, three chorus. You just work through the form, pass the ball to the next soloist, and then everyone heads up. We come out. As typical jazz form is, you all come out and you play the head again. You high five and boof, we're done, and everyone's happy. All right, so it's kind of cool. Now, I think that was a really good flow that you had there. That was a good feel, a good flow. And I was trying to comp him by letting him go, Freddy, and then on the 4, there's kind of like a thing you can kind of grab the. It's like hearing this. I go like. And then Freddy. So like or even like a chromatic passing, like approach. Go through your inversions like. Just bring it through if you want to invert it on the way up. Something, just make it, get out of the way, then add something to it. Call and response is all I'm trying to kind of give you options of stuff maybe to hear, like how to approach chords like. Give me the melody again. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? That's kind of he was doing his bit, I'm doing my bit. Pass it around, like make that kind of a flow. And I'm just improvising, I'm goofing off and just kind of having fun with it because, we're at the tail end of a long day. And hey, if you can't make music when you're tired, then you might as well pick another job. Because you always be tired when you go to a gig unless you play in the morning. And who does? Nobody. Except when you go on 10 o'clock on the morning show and everybody's fried and like, ugh. I've done it, speaking from experience. So, yeah, just be comfortable, like knowing, and all the better, like to why to practice, why to shed stuff, because you're going to know things and they'll become more automatic. So you're not going to have to trip about, I haven't practiced this. I haven't worked. I mean, literally, we threw this down. We might have played this like a month, almost 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
And then just be like, hey, we did like 5 minutes of prep and then just dove in and say, hey, you know what? Throw it at the wall. We are not posturing here and saying, well, you spent like 16 hours of like just shredding this out. And you're probably like, yeah, it shows. No, I mean, it's loose. It's fun. So keep it fun. Like, when you're throwing something down like this, come at it with the spirit of the tune, the love for the artist, and like, throwing your own 2 cents on it. And always go back to the original for just a little touch back with the original, because like, for instance, I'll give you an exact example right here. Right in that turnaround when you go, you think you're going, it's like Miles hits a note and then Cannonball goes, It's like he doesn't join until the second of the two notes. So it's like alone, together, and that's like, you see that if you listen to it. Go back and check it. It's pretty cool. And then this double stutter, I call it a stutter, where like you just go a second on the A2, like it's like a chop. It's like, but then we, it's like, and Freddy, and you kind of stutter that double stop, and then release it, and then you're back to 5, 6, 7, and 1. Back to that. I know I'm playing it kind of folky. Sue me. All right, so yeah, interpret it how you want. If you want to be like real out with it, cool, but don't defy the spirit of the tune. It's basically a blues with a little bit of a left turn at the end on that A flat. And that's really fun to play over too. Like, add your Lydian dominant thing on that. Like, just a quick note on what that is. If you're playing and you want that dominant with a Lydian in it, the A flat, play from a fifth above. We're going to play a melodic minor, so E flat melodic minor ideas against that chord, right? So getting this. You get this little 4 whole tones in that scale, by the way, I think we determined. So it's almost like a whole tone scale entirely. So it gives you that kind of out feel. You get a Lydian note, that sharpful against, with your root, which is killer. You got your Lydian and mixed Lydian mashed together. Your Lydian dominant from melodic minor, which is just... Here's the cool part about that. It's the E flat major scale with a flat 3. Think of that. That's all it is. So it's like, just take a major scale, lower the third, and you've got your melodic minor. Jazz minor, it's also called. Pretty kick-ass. Pretty cool. Yeah, it gives you that outside. In fact, I found this chord. What was the chord we found?
I think that is it, yeah.
Miles is blowing like... 13. No, it was a flat 13. It was a flat 9, flat 13. Yeah, because he goes like something like he had this little. It was like a little. Listen to his lines. You could pull that chord out. I was like, or like. It's like that. Back to the 1. Pretty cool. So 13, what do we say? Is A flat 9. So there's a 9. Flat 13, 7. I have this third inversion, right? Off the G flat. And I pulled that chord straight out of his solo line. I heard that tone. It was like, and he came back home with it. Pretty cool. You got anything to add?
Yeah, I think Miles Davis was rather cool.
Oh, Birth of the Cool, as one of his albums was titled. Yeah, man, no doubt. The guy could burn. He burned, and then he said, you know what? Everyone else is burning, so I'm going to take a turn. So he did some turning, and he turned away from burning and became very chill with his phrasing and his overall approach. Took that, went to the quintet, to the second quintet later, which leveled me, and then went and recreated a whole new form of music with like fusion, bringing rock and roll with like electric instruments, to the chagrin of many traditionalists, who either love or hate, certain periods of him. But he's one of those guys like David Bowie, man. If you dig him, you're going to get a different dose of something album to album. So, hey, good luck. Wherever you are grabbing Miles Davis, you might be grabbing something that like really confuses you. If you pick up Live Evil right off the bat, good luck.
Yeah, or like
I mean,
on the corner or
on the
something like that.
corner, or like, oh, I mean, Jack Johnson, the Jack Johnson album. I mean, brilliant. Or if you could pick up Kind of Blue and then you like depart from there, go backwards and then go forwards. Pick up Kind of Blue, go backwards, then go forwards, and be like all the way up to like 90, whatever. Like when he died, I think in 90,
Yeah, I
or
believe
89 or 90 or 91 or
91,
something.
I believe.
Yeah, so I'm no aficionado, man. I don't trip out on like tiny details, but I dig what I do, and I mean I think that there's so much to gain from digging in and hearing Bitches Brew and then hearing Birth of the Cool and then like hearing like, Nefertiti and like hearing, In a Silent Way. I mean, come on. You could spend just jump in now because it's going to take you years. Jump in now. Jump
Yeah,
in now
yeah,
and just enjoy the swim. And just
yeah. Dive in.
dive in and go deep because Miles was a deep dude. And everybody that he helped along the way, like get into Mahavishnu Orchestra from John McLaughlin, and all everyone else, Dave Holland, and I mean Keith Jarrett. I mean, come on, man. Just if you want a music education, you can't go wrong with reading the liner notes on Miles and Coltrane and everybody that passed through into his his world, his spirit, and what they gained from having touched that. And please, by all means, Wayne Shorter. Please check out the Wayne Shorter quintet up until his passing. Do yourself a favor. Dig into the free play that these four individuals are able to achieve and the beauty that they can bring forth from the top of their heads in the moment. And if you aren't left breathless by that, let us know in the comments because I think maybe you need to check your pulse. I mean, really, man. It's like, if you can't feel that, then I feel sorry for you. Maybe you need to look into something different. And it's not all things aren't for everybody. It's like food. You may hate vanilla ice cream or you may hate Rocky Road, but whatever. To each their own. But for me and for this guy, it's definitely lives in a place that rubs on a deep level and definitely informs like what we want to be as musicians every single day. And on that note, Freddy the Freeloader, Freddy the Freeloader is awaiting for you to jam on. And with that, I'll ask you, you have any parting comments?
I think that just about covers it.
I'm Scotty.
And I'm Noah.
With Smart Tunes.
Tune your mind with Smart Tunes.